my beautiful bookish friends, and welcome back to my channel. Today I am bringing you guys a book haul. I have not had a actual physical book haul in quite a while. I've kind of been on a no buy, staying away, being good, not overloading my shelves, but I've been unhauling a lot of books lately, so I decided to rehaul some books. Well, not rehaul because I've never owned these ones, but basically fill in the gaps. So I'm going to talk about the 11 books I got today, and tell you guys what they're all about. So a lot of these books you've probably heard of if you are an avid booktube watcher. A lot of them have either been on my list for a long time because booktube has been talking about them for a long time, or they are recent releases that booktubers have been talking about and caught my attention. So the first book I have is Emergency Contact by Mary H.K. Choi. I was on the fence about getting this book just because it is one of those books that booktube seems to either really like or really hate. So I thought I might like it. The more and more I heard about it and heard good reviews, it made me want to read it. And some of the reviews that said they didn't like it kind of seemed like things that didn't really bother me in books. So I am going to give this a read. I know Mary H.K. Choi has written a few other books since. I think she wrote Permanent Record, and it's a similar styling of cover, which I may get if I like this one. Basically, this is the story of Penny and Sam, who are two people who are kind of lost in the world, and they bump into each other and they start texting each other, and basically they become inseparable, but only digitally. And something happens where I think one of them gets in an accident and they find out that the other is like they're each other's emergency contact. I think that is the whole premise of this book, but a lot of it is just them being afraid to meet each other or see each other again in person. So I'm interested to read this. I think it's kind of like where is it? Tell Me Three Things, where they are afraid to meet in person. So I'm very interested in reading that. It seems like it's going to be sad too. The next one I got, I actually was, I wasn't recommending it personally, but I saw it in a like best standalone contemporaries to read. This is The Female of the Species. It is a very bright colored book, and it has different kinds of like female animals on it, including humans. And the tagline of this basically says Alex Kraft knows how to kill someone and she doesn't feel bad about it. So her older sister was murdered and the killer walked free. So now this girl knows that language is the best violence. Her own crime goes unpunished. So basically she commits a crime as well in a way of revenge. And apparently this is a very real, raw look at when injustices are committed against women and nothing happens, what the results very well might be. That people snap and people want to get even. So yeah, I know this takes a very hard look at rape culture. So if that is something that makes you uncomfortable or triggers something, this is probably not the book for you. But I really don't know a whole ton about it. I just know that it's very dark and it is very heavy, but it sounded like something I really wanted to read. Next book I got, I actually found on a whim when I was looking up true crime novels, and this is called I'll Be Gone in the Dark, One Woman's Obsessive Search for the Golden State Killer. So the Golden State Killer case I actually never heard about until they actually caught him. About a year ago, I believe they caught the Golden State Killer. But he killed a lot of people and assaulted a lot of women over, I believe it was like 30 years, and he just kind of disappeared. So basically this is about the journalist who was obsessed with this case, and she actually kind of put the pieces together about who this might be. Unfortunately, she passed away before he could really be caught, but the book is completely attributed to her. And it says features new material on the Golden State Killer's arrest. So they kind of added into her notes, but this is her book all about, it's Michelle McNamara But it's all about how she wanted him caught and wanted to know who this guy was. And she died very young. She was only born in 1970, so she wasn't even 50 when she died. But yeah, now she has sold the story to HBO, and it's going to be a show. The next book is another one I don't know a whole lot about, but is a bind up by Victoria Schwab. This is my first Victoria Schwab book, and I'm hoping I enjoy her writing because a lot of other people really enjoy her work, especially here on BookTube. So I want to maybe delve into her works. But this is 2 novels with a bonus short story inside. This is called The Dark Vault, but it is the archive stories that she wrote. And the premise of this is that people, when you die, your life story is turned into a book, and you go into this library of souls. The premise of this book is that a girl whose grandfather told her about this vault and took her there has now died, and she wants to go into the vault to prove to herself that she's not afraid to do it anymore. But she also is a keeper of all of these souls, and some of these people are not so nice. It is not just good people here. It is killers and murderers and bad people, and her job is to protect everyone, and she has to lie to people about what she does because other people can't know about this place. This next one I actually picked up because Haley in Bookland talked about it on her channel, and it is Heartless by Marissa Meyer. I am a very big fan of the Disney Twisted Tales. I have them right here. I have 4 of them and more on my wish list. But this is basically all about the Queen of Hearts and how she became the Queen of Hearts. And I don't really know a whole lot about this. It's just talking about her wanting to choose her own path and no one telling her how to get there. So yeah, I'm very interested in how this is gonna go. I also have Cinder by Marissa Meyer, so I'm hoping, or Meyer, not Mayer. I'm hoping I like this, and I'm hoping I like Cinder as well, because I would like to get the other ones in her Lunar Chronicles series. This is completely separate, but I really liked the idea of that one. Then we have one of my most anticipated releases, because I really wanted this in paperback so it'd match the rest of the series, and I cannot wait to read this book. I know I'm going to fly through it because I've flown through the other 2, and it is Finale, the end of the Caraval series. I am so excited. Especially where with Legendary left off. I'm just dying to know what happens. I have fallen in love with the characters. I know some people really hate Caraval, and I don't get it. I don't know why. Why do you hate it? I love it. It is one of those things where it gets me so excited to talk about. I only know one other person in my life who has read Caraval and Legendary, and I think she's read Finale at this point. Christy, let me know. But yeah, I got it. I have it in my hands, and it's purple. I love purple. I am obsessed with purple. I have a purple locker. My room is purple. I love purple. Yes, I'm a stereotypical person who likes purple. Everything in my life has to be purple. But this book is just gorgeous, and I love it. And it's gonna look so pretty on my shelf with the others. Just look at it. Oh, and it's long and thick and beautiful, and I cannot wait to read it because I'm going to reread them all and annotate until my heart is content. This one I got isn't really like a book you read. It's more of a book you kind of look at and work through, and that is the Daily Spell Book for the Good Witch. I am not a religious person. I think we have established that on this channel before, but I do think that there's a higher power and all these things, and I'm not getting deep into this because people will argue with me, I'm sure, in the comments. But yeah, I believe in witchcraft and that kind of stuff. And it's just as quick, simple, and practical magic for every day of the year. So basically every day you just read a spell, and they are all set to line up with the equinoxes, the change of seasons, and just kind of what goes on every year around that year. Obviously it is different every year what happens, but just the general zodiacs and astrology and things like that that happen on a regular schedule, and not you know, it doesn't really have a whole lot to do with the moon phases or any of that. I got a historical fiction. I realize I have not been saying the genres of all of these until right now. So I'm going to run through them really fast, okay? Stay with me. Fantasy. Fantasy. Realistic fantasy. True crime. Adult contemporary. YA contemporary. Are we all caught up? Great. I got a historical fiction. This is called The Flight Girls. It follows 3 women in World War II who worked either in the Air Force or actually flew planes. And each of them was stationed somewhere else, and it just talks about their courage. And basically it is just based on the women who fought in World War II, who without we probably would not have won the war in World War II. And just kind of highlights some of their stories. I do think there's a romance element in here with at least one of them, but another one is about a girl whose father worked in the airfields and she wanted to become a pilot no matter what. But it just talks about their adversity, and it has like the kind of like ripped pages, like the uneven rippy pages on the side. So if you like that kind of style. But yeah, I thought it was really cool. It sounded like a really beautiful book, and I also put it on my list right after I read The Room on the Rue Meal, so kind of all goes in the same vein. The next book I got is actually a hardcover, and it is All the Stars and Teeth. Booktube has been talking about this book quite a bit, so I decided to pick it up. Also, the cover is stunning. So even without the book jacket, it's gorgeous. This is about a girl who is a princess, and in order to take over the monarchy, she has to prove her soul magic, which is very dangerous, that she can control it. But it also talks about, on the back it says, Princess, Pirate, Stowaway, Mermaid, the crew makes the queen. So it is kind of pirate elements. It has a lot of fantasy and magic. I don't really know a whole lot about this. I just know that she strikes a deal with a famous pirate, and I think she goes off with him, and I'm assuming there is some love in here somewhere because all fantasies have that nowadays. But yeah, I think it's gonna be, someone says a little violent, so I'm interested to see how that comes in and why, but also the cover is gorgeous. So kind of a cover buy, also kind of a things I'm interested by. I got this book actually when we were cleaning out my grandma's apartment. She had this book by Kristen Hanna, and it is called Summer Island. I know Kristen Hanna writes a lot of romance books, so, and they're usually kind of sad. They have some sort of sad element to them. So yeah, I basically got this because no one else wanted it, but I know like nothing about this book. The last book I got is a graphic novel, and that is Heavy Vinyl. I heard a lot of people talking about this. There was like a graphic novel readathon that happened, and this one is about a group of girls who works at a record shop, and the record shop is actually a front for a fight club, so they had my attention. I think it's just going to be a really cool, fun read, and I don't have any graphic novels that are non-superhero based. So this is like, oh, that's a lie. I have Nancy Drew and Witch, but this is like the only kind of adult graphic novel I have, or like YA graphic novel. So yeah, I know this is a series, so if I like this one, I will get the other volumes, and yeah, that is it. So that is the end of my book haul. I do have book of the month coming in soon, so I will do a unboxing for you guys because I did add some goodies into that one. But yeah, that is all I have for you. If you like this or you like books in general, make sure you subscribe to my channel because I have a lot of bookish content coming up for you guys. And if you like this one, then I hope you subscribe, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.